Jeopardy! Scored a huge win last week regarding American iconography with the announcement of an Alex Trebek Forever stamp. While every Jeopardy! Fan was thrilled, some took issue with the stamp itself, saying the design could have been punched up. USPS announced that the late Alex would be honored via the next Forever stamp. Now host Ken Jennings introduced the huge honor during a recent Friday's episode of the game show. The stamps feature a clue that reads, "This naturalized U.S. citizen hosted the quiz show Jeopardy! For 37 seasons." Underneath and upside down is the answer written in the show's signature format. Who is Alex Trebek? Alex was born in Ontario, Canada. As is the case with most Jeopardy! Announcements these days, fans had thoughts, yes, about the stamps. Most boring stamp in history. Fans took to Reddit arguing that the stamp would have been even more nifty, in a proper tribute, if Alex had actually been included in it. While Alex is on the pane of the stamp sheet, the actual stamps don't include him. Okay, it's great Alex Trebek is being honored with a stamp, but it's got to be one of the most boring stamps in U.S. postal history, one user wrote. Alex only appears on the pane, with the actual stamp being a Jeopardy!-style clue about him. This seems more like a stamp commemorating the Jeopardy! 60th anniversary than Alex himself, they closed. Another agreed, since most people will only ever encounter this stamp when they see it on their mail, I agree that it would have been nice for him to actually appear on the stamp itself. A third defended, that said, his name is there and it's about him, and at the end of the day, it is a nice honor for him to receive. Others felt the commemorative stamps would have also been better if each one were a different clue. Also, there isn't any variety, every stamp is the same clue lol, but still amazing honor, a fourth social media user wrote. What is iconic? Other than a few misgivings, it's hard to deny that this is a huge deal. The new Forever stamp will be publicly released by the USPS next month and will pay tribute to the longtime Jeopardy! Host who died of pancreatic cancer in 2020. The stamp resembles the blue and white clue panel on the iconic trivia show. The stamps will be sold as a set of 20 that resembles the game board. Categories include entertainment and famous Alexes, alongside a photo of Trebek himself. All of this, however, is only on the pane. The USPS will issue the stamps beginning on July 22 at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. A sheet of 20 will cost $14.60. They are currently available for pre-order on the USPS website. Meanwhile, the Forever stamp is also forever rising in price. Forever stamps are set to increase in price from 68 cents to 73 cents in July, which has infuriated citizens. It's also not even the first time stamp prices have raised this year, as they were 66 cents in January. The tribute comes as Jeopardy! Celebrates its 60th year on air after debuting on March 30, 1964. Ken Jennings Salary. Now sole host Ken is reportedly tied to a $4 million contract as host, having taken over for Alex permanently. The U.S. Sun previously reported that his contract isn't long-term just yet. Ken is happy to take a pay cut to ensure he remains a host for decades to come, just as Alex was for 36 years. Jeopardy! Is Ken's religion, he lives it, and he breathes it, and despite all the outside pressures, he's not going to mess this up, the source shared. What he really wants more than anything is to stick around and make this position work for the long run. And if that means making less money to ensure his longevity, you can bet your life he'd be game. Of course, Ken is already comfortable. He made $2.5 million from his still record 74-game run as a contestant, $4.3 million including tournaments. Host Havoc. Ken holds the record for the longest winning streak in Jeopardy! History with 74 consecutive wins in 2004. Alex hosted the show's modern iteration from 1984 until November 2020 after losing a battle with pancreatic cancer. After his death, things got a bit chaotic, as viewers know all too well. After a series of guest hosts, officials announced that producer Mike Richards and actress Mayim would be taking over as co-hosts. However, in August 2021, Richards resigned over sexist resurfaced comments and Ken stepped in to split hosting duties with Mayim. In July 2022, it was announced that Mayim and Ken would continue to host together for season 39 by switching off. However, after the show's summer 2023 hiatus, it was revealed that Jennings would take over as the permanent host for season 40. Mayim announced in a personal Instagram message in late December 2023 that she would no longer be hosting the show. As the holiday break begins in Hollywood, I have some Jeopardy news, she began her post. Sony has informed me that I will no longer be hosting the syndicated version of Jeopardy. Jeopardy! Cobbled together a similar-looking Instagram message an hour later, and it has since been reported that Mayim broke the news without consulting the show first. Ken later said he understood the decision as shows don't have two hosts. Now, Ken helms all facets of Jeopardy, including specials and spin-offs. In another interview, he said plainly, "I look forward to 37 more years of doing it, hosting, when I'll be a very, very old man." When the United States Postal Service, USPS, announced a new commemorative stamp honoring Alex Trebek, the legendary host of Jeopardy, fans of the show were immediately intrigued. Trebek, who passed away in November 2020 after a courageous battle with pancreatic cancer, had become an enduring icon of American television. He was beloved not only for his role on Jeopardy, but also for his wit, charm, and grace under pressure. However, when the design of the stamp was unveiled, it elicited mixed reactions from the public. The stamp, featuring a simple yet dignified portrait of Trebek, aimed to capture his essence with a timeless and understated design. In the image, Trebek is depicted in a classic pose, wearing a suit and tie, his expression calm and composed. The backdrop is a soft gradient of blue and white, reminiscent of the Jeopardy set. Yet, despite the intention to honor him respectfully, many fans felt the design fell short of truly commemorating the iconic host. Critics were quick to voice their opinions. Some described the stamp as boring and uninspired, arguing that it lacked the vibrancy and dynamism that Trebek brought to television screens for over 3 decades. "This stamp doesn't capture the spirit of Alex Trebek," wrote one disappointed fan on social media. "He was a man full of life, knowledge, and humor. This design feels too sterile and doesn't do justice to his legacy." Others echoed similar sentiments, pointing out that the stamp's minimalism might have been an attempt to convey Trebek's elegance, but instead, it came across as bland and unmemorable. "Alex Trebek deserves better," another fan commented. "He was a legend, and this stamp should reflect that. It feels like a missed opportunity to truly celebrate his contributions to entertainment and education." The debate over the stamp's design sparked a broader conversation about how best to honor public figures who have made significant cultural impacts.